All right, hello and welcome. Today we're going to do a video on understanding VSM. VSM is the Vendor Shipment Module, and today what we're going to do is teach you exactly how to streamline the shipping process for government contracts. Many times when we talk with our clients, they do not want to do VSM because it's something completely new and it seems scary, but in actuality it's very easy. Just no one teaches us exactly how to use VSM. So in today's video, we're going to teach you how to use VSM and also where to place the labels and the documents that it allows you to generate on your exterior containers. My name is Tristan Thomas with Men Sourcing, and we create videos like this each and every week to help you do better with government contracting. So if you haven't already, please do subscribe to this channel. Like I said, we send out a video each and every week if we're able to. So trying to help you win, whether it's your first contract or trying to be more efficient with how you win government contracting, we're here to assist. So please do subscribe below. So now let's jump into understanding VSM. So as we go through about doing this, things that I really want you to take away from this video is first, what is VSM and its importance? Why do we need to do this? Like I mentioned, many people outsource this, and that's why a lot of packaging houses charge you a lot, because they take on the ownership of doing VSM, but it's not as difficult as they make it out to be. Secondly, I'm going to go over exactly what do you need to print. So it's going to give you different options to print. I'm going to talk about the typical ones that you need to print out. Now, there are some caveats to this, and every contract is different, but I'm looking at the majority of contracts. Thirdly, we're going to talk about where to place the printed papers. So they're going to give you several different papers to print out, or labels. What do you do with them? Where do you put them? I'm going to go over exactly that. Also, we're going to talk about the information that you need to have prior to going into VSM. Here at Men Sourcing, we're really about streamlining processes. So I'm going to go over exactly what we use, which is called a packaging traveler, which our team needs to then create first. So then when I go into VSM, I have all of the information I need to create the information. And then lastly, we're going to go over what to do post VSM. So it's going to give you some information. So what information should you be tracking as you ship out that item? Now, what are the key features of VSM? First and foremost, it's the automated shipping labels. The system is going to be able to allow you to print out these labels, so you're not driving over to FedEx, spending several hundreds of dollars to get this shipment out. So we're going to talk about automated that's one of the things, automated shipping labels. Secondly is freight cost calculation. You can do that within VSM. Thirdly, carrier selection and scheduling. So let's just say theoretically you don't want to use FedEx and you only want to use UPS or DHL. You can do that. Also, you can schedule in where you have that carrier come to pick up the item. Typically though, I don't even go about doing that. I just contact the carrier, then they come pick up the item, and then off it goes. And then lastly, you can, inside of VSM, is do real-time tracking. As I mentioned before, these are some of the key features that are there. Not everything that we use, not most of it you actually need to use. Really, the main things about VSM that you should really care about is one, automated shipping labels, and the carrier selection and the scheduling. You being able to do both of those. The freight cost calculation is great, but we don't do too much of that, so I'm not going to dive too deep into that. And the real-time tracking, I just go to the carrier's website, put in the tracking number, and I can track it myself that way. Now, information that you need to obtain first. Now, if you're going to use VSM and you're going to create these labels and print out that documentation, you need to obtain some information. So instead of you going back and forth, I highly recommend that you create a document in order to get all the information needed before you fill out VSM. So what this does is it saves time by creating a VSM document, such as an Excel file, or maybe it's a Word document that your team is going to use. We call it a packaging traveler. And what this does is it allows you and the team to ensure that all items are ready prior to doing the VSM. Nothing worse than you going to the shipping area, then coming back to your computer, going back and forth, maybe weighing the boxes. You don't want to do that. Secondly, simplicity of entering in the detailed information. If you have it all in one document in front of you, super simple, easy, you can finish VSM within minutes. Right? So keep track of shipment and documentation, right? We've all been there where we have a tracking number, then we forget where that tracking number goes, and then we can't track it ourselves. So this allows you then to put all that tracking information on that document. Now, what we use is we use a PDF that looks like this. So this is our packaging traveler that we use. We have our sales number that goes right here. The CLIN, so the contract line item number that's going to be there, the quantity of the CLIN, is this a total or partial shipment? That's important. How many items are going to be shipped? How many interior containers are we using? How many exterior containers are we using? And then just keeping track of each and every line item, each and every box that's there. So let's just say theoretically that we have 20 intermediate containers. I'm going to write down all 20 and then how many are in each one of those intermediate boxes. Then from there, how many exterior boxes or exterior containers do we have? What's the quantity in each exterior box? Also, we need to know exactly what is going to be the weight of that exterior box, because you're going to load that into VSM. Also, what are the lengths, the widths, and the heights of each and every of those exterior containers that you're using. And also, did you add an RFID? We're going to talk a little briefly about RFIDs in this video, but we'll create another video to talk about the importance of an RFID. But an RFID must be on each and every one of your exterior boxes. This area, this column right here is just for check marks. So we do this. Also, too, I have the team place the RFID. There's two sections of an RFID. I have them place it on this piece of paper so that I can keep track of all the RFID numbers. So this is a document that we use, not necessarily saying that you need to use this document. You can, if you do, reach out to me and I can send this over to you, but highly recommend that you have all the information prior to going into VSM. Now, how to use VSM? We're going to talk about exactly how to go about doing it, then we're going to dive into VSM itself. So how do you use VSM? Well, first off, you got to log in and set up. So if you haven't already, please do register with VSM prior to trying to log in. They're really responsive. Their team is great. Also, to create a shipment. So you're going to log into VSM, then create a shipment based upon the purchase order or the contract number, and then you're going to enter in the shipping details. What is the address, where it's going, the weight, the dimensions of each exterior container, and what are the contents? Like, what's the quantity that you're putting in there? What it will then do is allow you to print labels and documents. So not just labels, but the documentation needed for each one of those exterior containers. And then lastly, then you can schedule a pickup, or you could just ship it out. A lot of times what we do is we just go out to FedEx. We're near a FedEx center. A lot of the items that we're shipping out happens to be through FedEx. So we'll send 10 boxes out to FedEx and we just bring it there. They scan it and then off it goes, and we monitor the shipment. So then we will track the shipment moving forward. All right, so I've already logged into VSM here. As you can see, this is VSM. It's going to give you a list of all of our contract line items for the solicitation that's there, or the purchase order number. Now, I can go through here and I can find it myself, or what I can do is I can just type in the number under the PO section, so purchase order right there. So let's just say I want to type in V723. Great. It'll show me the two line items that are there, how many needs to be shipped out. So right here, there's open of 602 and 616, gives you the contract number as well too, where it's going to be shipping to, as you can see here. You can all check that through the contract itself. But what I would do is, let's just say theoretically, I want to now ship out the 602 pieces for contract line item number 1. I'd click on that, and then I would press submit. New pop-up's going to come here, and it's going to ask you 3 things, or it's going to ask you to pick one of the buttons here. Does the shipment contain regulated hazardous materials for transportation? Shipment contains non-hazardous material, or stop processing this shipment. So depending upon exactly what you're doing, maybe it could be hazardous, right? Most of the time it's probably going to be non-hazardous material. Or let's just say that you filled all the information into VSM and now you're not going to ship it, then you would click on stop processing the shipment. But in this case, we're just going to go shipment contains non-hazardous material and then press submit. Now this screen is going to pop up. Now, in this case, you need to first check the processing type. Is this going to be a partial shipment or is this a total shipment? We're talking about each exterior container that you're going to be shipping out. So let's just say you have 3 exterior containers that you're going to ship out. Each one of those exterior containers will have their own separate labels. So in that case, let's just say I have 200 in one box, 200 in another, and another 202 in the third box. Well, what I would do is I would then click on partial, because I'm talking about exterior container number 1, and then I would put in 202. Okay? If it was just one exterior container that I'm going to ship out for the entire quantity, then I would click on total and then put 602. It is very important that you have this accurate. If you don't, then you need to contact VSM so then they can cancel what you had just placed in there. So let's just say that we're going to do the 3 items, right? So partial, I said 202, so I'll put 202 there. And then I'm going to put the total weight of the box. This is in pounds, so let's just say it's 30 pounds. Let's just say it's in a box that's 12 by 12 by 12, so we do that. This vendor reference number is your reference number that you use to track this individual shipment for this exterior container. So what I always like to do is I like to put contract number, so whatever what it is, and then I put 001. Okay, so that's box number 1, box number 2, box number 3, box number 4. It just allows me to keep track of what's going on. Right, so this would be box number 1. Now the type of pack. So how are you going to be shipping this? Does it come into a box, a bundle, a can? Is there a different one? A crate, cylinder, drum? Most of the times it's going to be box, so you click on box, and then you press submit. That's it. You never change the type of equipment. You can, theoretically, if you need to in this, but most of the time you don't. So I just do van closed. In this case, we're not doing any pallets. So, right, like if I was going to do a pallet, right, now I can do pallets here if I wanted to do that. But most of the time, we just have it as a box. If you want to put carrier remarks, like it's fragile, put it right here. And then is it stackable? Yes or no? I always just keep it off as no. Okay, and then I press the submit button here. Now I'm not going to do the submit button here because I'm not actually shipping this one out. But after that, what it's going to do is it's going to bring you back to the original page, such as this. So now it's like, well, where are my labels? Where do I find it? Well, go up to this where it says print, and then you want to go into the print section, and that shipment documentation will be in that area. So I'm going to look at the reprint. If I need to reprint it, it'll pop up just like this. So we're going to click on this, the one that you're wanting to look up. Now, if you have multiple ones, obviously you're going to have to, do this multiple times because each line item here is going to be one exterior container. So that's the information that you're going to have right there. Now, going back to this. Now, what to print and where to place those. Now, there are certain documents and labels that you need to be able to print out. So we're on that printing phase as of right now, or section as of right now. So what do you exactly need to print? Well, what you want to do, and this is very important, is you want to print out one parcel carrier label. And you just want to print out one of those. That's going to go on the exterior container. You're going to print out one of the MSLs, which is the MSL, which is another label. That's going to go on the exterior container. Print one of those. You're going to print out two of the container ID labels. That's what we do. We print out two, and I'll talk about where do you place both of those. And you're also going to print out two of the packing lists that are there. So what does that look like? Well, let's go here. So I'm going to click on this, going back to the printing section. And as you can see right here, we have the smaller parcel carrier label. We have the container ID label, we have the MSL, and we have the packing list. So I press on print, it'll generate the documents, and then new tabs are going to come up. So it's going to give it to me. This one right here, this is the container ID label, right? So I'm going to print out two of these. It's also going to give me the label from the carrier that we're going to use. So I'm going to print out one parcel carrier label. I'm going to print out two of these packing lists that are right here. And then the last one is the MSL. We want to print out this. All right. VSM is sometimes it messes up, and sometimes it might only show you 3 of these 4 documents. All you got to do then is just press print again and regenerate them until all 4 of those show up. I always print these ones out just black and white. I print out this one, black and white. This one goes through our Zebra printer, so then it's an actual thermal label. And then same thing with this one right there. In another video, we'll talk about exactly what type of printers that you should get for these labels to place it on. But you could just print them out and then just cover it like packing tape, so then it's see-through, and then you just put it on the box. That's what we used to do when we first started out. So we have all of that documentation. Now, what do we do with that? Well, let me go over exactly what we want to do. What you want to do is you want to place one container ID label, right? And then one packing list paper, and you place both of those inside of the exterior container. So going back to this, we take one of these container ID labels, and we take one of these packing list labels, and we place them into the exterior container. Okay. Then we place one container ID label and one packing list paper inside of a packing slip, and we're now going to place that on the outside of the exterior container. So the same 2 documents that you put inside, you want to now place them in a packing slip on the outside. And then you want to place the parcel carrier label on the top right corner of the exterior package, and you want to place the MSL just to the left of the parcel carrier label. So you're probably thinking like, well, what the heck do you mean? So I thought this diagram would work best. Right here we have the packing list, right? We have our container label as well too, right? So we have the container ID label. So we have those 2 documents. We have our parcel carrier label, and we have our MSL. And the last thing is the RFID. That needs to go on the outside of the box as well too. Now, when it comes to the parcel carrier label, you want to put it in the top right corner of that box. The MSL just to the left of it, and then the RFID is actually going to go into the middle on the bottom of the box. My ASTM video will show you in person what that actually looks like, so you can get a better visual of that. But ultimately, the way that it wants to look is parcel carrier like this, then to the left of that is the MSL, and then the RFID would look like that. These 2 documents that we have right here, 2 of them are going to go inside of the box, and then 2 of these are going to go into a packing slip, and I'm going to place the packing slip right here. Now, VSM is not a big old scary thing. People make a lot of packaging houses make it out to be. It doesn't have to be. Hopefully this video does help you. Really what we're trying to do is get you to be able to understand with confidence how VSM works. So what better way than to create a video and showing you how. If you do have any questions on VSM, maybe there's an item that you're quite unsure of, or you're wanting a little bit more better understanding of it, please do leave that in the comments below. Secondly, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to this channel. Like I said, we create these videos once a week going over little bits and pieces on government contracting to help you either win your first award or to deliver a government award. Now, my name is Tristan Thomas with Men Sourcing. This video has been here to help you understand how VSM works. Thank you. and you have a good day.